Let's finish up by building a box plot. You've likely done something like this before, so if you have, feel free to skip this part. However, if you would like a review, come along. So first we need to find quartiles. So quartiles represent quarters of the data. So the first quartile is the point at which 25% of the data is at or below. Q2 is the median, or where 50% of the data is at or below. And Q3 is 75% is at or below this point. We also sometimes think of Q1 and Q3 of medians of half of the data, and I'll show you what I mean. This right here is all the heights from your exploratory activity put in order. So the median is going to be in the middle when they're in order. Since there are 45 of these, if you look in order, hopefully you did something like this on your preview activity. That means if I count over 22, or excuse me, 12, because there are 25, and if I count over 12, from both sides, the one that remains is the median. So this median is Q2, or the 50% mark, and that divides our data into two halves. We have the lower half and the upper half. That's the Q1 is sometimes called the lower quartile, and Q3 is sometimes called the upper quartile. So let's find the lower quartile, or Q1, and that is going to be the median, or the middle of the lower half. Well, there are 12 data points, so I can count in 6 from each side. So going 6 from each side puts me in between 261, so Q1 must be 61. Now I'll do the same from the other side. I'll count in 6 from each side. So the upper quartile, or Q3, is in between 65 and 68. So I'll just add those up and divide by 2. And that's going to give me 66.5. So I would write down those quartiles because you're going to need them to build the box plot. Remember, the Q1 is the median of the lower half. Q3 is the median of the upper half. So we're going to use that to build a box plot. So we found in the last slide that Q1 was 61, Q3 was 66.5, that the median, or Q2, was 62. We know the max is 77, and the min is 57. This is sometimes called the 5-number summary, because we can think of these as the 5 fence posts that define quarters of the data. The min can be thought of as Q0, the point where no quarters of the data are beneath it. The median is Q2, 2 quarters are beneath it. And the max is Q4, 4 quarters are beneath it. So we will use those to build our box and whisker plot. So Q0 is going to be at 57. Somewhere out here, some put lines here, some just put a dot at the end. I put Q1 at 61. I make a bigger line to show it's part of the box in the box plot. Here's my median at 62. It's another line. And then at 66.5, I have the other end of my box. So remember, in a box and whisker plot, we always have Q1, Q2 are the median, and Q3 forming the different parts of the box. And then the min and max come out as whiskers, as they're sometimes called. And this one has a whisker going out to 77. And so we can see here that the distance between Q1 and Q3, or the interquartile range, is from 61 to 66.5. We define the IQR as the actual difference between those two, and you can think of that as the set of normal values. That's the middle 50%. But we can see here there's much more variation in the second quartile, or sorry, in the third quartile between Q2 and Q3 than there is here. Since these are so close together, there's lots of data points packed in here, whereas after here they spread out. Now there's lots of good computer programs out there that can make this for you. And so I used one to check my work.